Hey there, I'm David.
And I'm Eddie.
And we are Full-Time Gays. And we're coming to you this week, well, we're coming to you from Michigan, but we're here to talk about a campground we went to a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, called Sugar Creek Campground in Bucksnort, Tennessee.
All right, hi everybody. We are here from Sugar Creek Campground in Bucksnort, Tennessee, which is about 50 miles west of Nashville, right off of I-40, and I mean right off of I-40. It's like I see the cars and hear the cars on I-40, but it's a nice place, and so we want to spend a few minutes telling you about our thoughts on what this campground is. We're going to rate it in a few different categories that are important to us. Hopefully they may help you in making a decision to come here or not. We're going to look at how big rig friendly is it, because we have like a 43 and I almost said 50, 43 and a half foot fifth wheel. So she's a big lady. Big Blanche is big. We'll look at that.
We'll also talk about the vibe of the park, kind of how our sense of what community was like here.
Okay, and we'll look at the facilities, like what's the place like, and then finally we'll do the internet, because if you're like us, we still have to work for a living, and so yeah, I know, right? He still hasn't won the lottery. But we'll look at how good the internet experience was for us, although the fact that we're right off of the interstate should probably give you a pretty good clue. So let's start right off with the big rig friendliness. It is very big rig friendly. It's right, as we've said now a few times, right off of the interstate, like a few hundred feet, literally. Yeah. I mean, it's right there. Now there's two tiers to the campground. There's like an upper level and sort of a lower level, and we're on the upper level, which is where they put all the 50 amp sites. I don't know why there wasn't 50 amps or many 50 amps down in the lower level, but it would have been a little nicer to be down there. And it's easy to get down there. It's a different driveway. Right. And kind of a lip there, I think it'd be fine, but it'd be a close thing in terms of, you know, the twisting of the fifth wheel. It might make our butt cheeks clench just a little bit. But we've seen lots of other big fifth wheels down there, and they've been fine. Yeah. So, anything else on big rig friendliness?
Being on the second tier does give us a little bit of feeling of us being segregated from everybody else. Again, kind of a pro and a con in the same sense, is because if we want to get away from the crowd and just kind of have, you know, a nice lazy day, we can just come up here and be away from everything. But we also get like this epic observation deck, because we have to look down and see everything that's going on, decide whether or not we want to leave our site or not.
Yeah, but you got to go down a pretty steep hill. There's like a little drive, like an inside the campground drive that, speaking of making your butt cheeks clench, we can take it on the segways though. The segways work on it. Barely. So yeah, I think overall its proximity to the interstate gives it a lot of value there. I give it probably an 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and even say a 9. It was super easy to get in and out of. The gate to get in this upper part was a little bit on the narrow side, but manageable.
Wide turn.
Yeah. It would be nice to have those 50 amps down at the bottom, so that we can join in on the festivities. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. It was super easy.
Okay, so there's 8.5. Facilities, you want to talk about those?
Yeah, so the facilities here, I think one of the main attractions is something that was given to the park, basically, which is the creek, Sugar Creek.
It was gifted by God.
It runs through the entire park. It's super beautiful. We haven't seen anyone actually get in it, but we've heard people go through.
I've seen people.
Have you?
Yeah.
People will bring their lawn chairs down there and just sit in the creek. It's super shallow. You can go down there and feed the fish. It's really, really nice. The facilities they put in this really nice bathhouse. I mean, there is not a square of toilet paper out of place in this thing.
They white glove it, literally.
Literally.
Which is good. I mean, it's a good thing.
Yeah, and it's right outside of the pool. It's a little bit smaller of a pool than what we've seen, but people seem to enjoy it. It's 4 feet flat across. There's no other depth to it. They did that so that it would be easier to play water volleyball. And they have a little tiki bar down there that serves your I don't know if they have cocktails or not.
I don't think they serve cocktails.
No, okay. So it's you know, your typical bar pub food, burgers, chicken strips, that kind of stuff. We didn't try any because
Hashtag keto.
Yeah.
16 pounds down.
congratulations.
Thank you.
So as far as the facilities go, I'm gonna give it a 7. I think there could be a few more things that could happen. A bigger communal area that's not just out in the sun might be kind of nice. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay, yeah, it is a nice place, especially for how new it is.
Yeah.
And the challenge, though, we had a lot of rain the first few days we were here, and that creek can rise. If the good Lord willing, the creek won't rise.
Right.
And we had like 2.5 inches of rain in the span of an hour, so crazy heavy rain. And it was like a rapids going through there, but it didn't like flood over its banks. Although they told us that a couple times in the last few years it has, at least for a day or two. And so like there's this whole part of the park that's beautifully manicured like grass, but how effective that would be at putting campsites on, I don't know,
Yeah.
because if there's a big heavy rain, a river will run through it.
Or even, you know, a pavilion or anything. You can't really put anything out there.
Yeah.
They use that area right now for parking on the weekends and for tenters. They do
Mhm.
have some posts out there for electric and water, but I don't think you can actually build anything over there.
Yeah, I don't know. But with that said, the facilities that they do have are very, very nice, and they've got great rentals. They call them studios, and the studios they think they took like a semi-truck trailer,
Right.
right? And they subdivided them, but they're cute, they're cozy, and so
We wouldn't have actually known they were semi-trailers unless
No.
someone told us that they were.
no, it's nice. So yeah, I think facilities, I'll give it an 8.
Cool.
What'd you give it?
7.
So 7.5 on facilities.
Perfect. Let's talk about the vibe.
It's a holiday weekend. This is Labor Day weekend. In fact, tomorrow is Labor Day.
Yep.
There's like 30 something perm campers, and I think there's 12 studios. And this weekend there's I think 19 or 20 tents, and I think everything is booked. Everything is occupied. So
Right.
a big, huge crowd, like probably every other campground in the country right now. And it's a cool, nice vibe. The people are all super polite.
Yeah.
It's been easy to meet people, to walk up to people. They'll ask us up to their site. We've made some friends already, and there's a little element of maybe this is like a COVID thing, but like, you know, at the pool today, I kind of felt like I was at a dance club, but that's probably the point,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's not a bad thing. It's just maybe not our particular vibe, but it's still, it was, I haven't detected really hardly any attitude.
No,
Have you?
not at all.
No. So I would give the vibe, again, an 8.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 9 on that one. I'd also like to add in, rude. I'd also like to add in the fact that the perms here have an immense amount of pride. These sites that they're doing are beautiful. They have beautiful decks and landscaping. So these folks really take pride in what they have here.
Yeah. That is almost always the mark of a really good community, is how much do they take pride in it, and the decks and the gazebos and
Plants and
yeah, it's beautiful.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
8.5.
That'll work.
Okay. I think I would give it a higher number if they had like that pavilion you talked about.
Yeah.
Like a community center, so to speak. It probably would also help them open all year round too, if they had something more weather resistant.
Sure.
Last but not least is the internet. We're right off the freeway, so the internet is yes.
Just an astounding yes.
Yeah, we've got Verizon is our primary hotspot, and we've had no issues. It's like 3 bars, but fast bars.
Yeah.
It slowed down a little bit yesterday, but there was like this crazy bad wreck like 20 miles up the interstate, and all day long.
Those cars were literally sitting on that highway from 9:30 in the morning until about 5 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so it was a little bit slower during that time, and I think that's what was making it go slower, because the rest of the weekend it's still busy here, and it's been fine.
Totally
so
fine.
I don't know if they have campground Wi-Fi. Maybe they do in like the studios, but we don't need it.
Yeah.
And from what we've heard, AT&T is fine, as is T-Mobile, as is Sprint. So I'd probably give it a 9.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 9 as well, just because if they don't have their own campground Wi-Fi, it would be nice to have for folks who may need it. So that's yeah, it would be a solid 10 if it had that.
Yeah, agreed. So would you come back here?
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed this place so far. It's super nice. People are really friendly. I would definitely come back here.
Yeah, it's easy to get to. When you get here, what you find is great. The people are great. It looks to be very well run by our friend Cigar Mike. I mean, seriously, it's everything looks well run.
Yeah,
and the prices aren't crazy. I could do without these up top sites looking at the old gas station canopy.
Yeah.
And the adult superstore sign. But you know, I mean, and I could do without some of the noise from the parked pickup, you know, the parked semi trucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely in a heartbeat come back here. It's certainly one of the better gay campgrounds we've ever come across.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. You don't have your drink. So we are in it together.